this is Brendan Wilmington, and welcome back to another Lumen Stock Car Invitational Series race, season number 5, race number 3, here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, the 1.5 mile oval in Homestead, Florida. We've had plenty of races here in the past, plenty of exciting finishes as well, and I'm expecting no different from the track here today. It's going to be a two-stop race more than likely. Tire is going to be very important, especially compared to the last mile-and-a-half track we went to at Atlanta to start off the season. But we saw a lot of that at Rockingham last week as well, where Corbin Taps took the win as he has won the first two races of the season and is looking to go an unprecedented, unless you're Tyler Reddick, 3 in a row to start the season. Joining me in the booth here today is a newcomer to the LCI booth. It is Trey Wright. And Trey, this is your first LCI race, maybe your first time hearing about most of these drivers. But you've got quite a bit of experience with this track. So what do you think these drivers who have now gone here for the fifth time, some of them have gone here for the fifth time. What do you think is the key to victory here today?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much, Brendan, for having me on. And it is so exciting to be down here in South Beach at a beautiful facility. The number one thing, like you mentioned, is going to be conserving tire wear and staying out of trouble. But at this version of Homestead, 3 and 4 wide is not only the norm, it is the only way to get around here, especially on that outside lane. We're going to be seeing these guys going every which way. Conserving your tires on these 25 lap runs is going to be the biggest thing for a lot of these guys, and also staying out of trouble. But it's 67 laps around this mile-and-a-half behemoth. We're going to have a lot of fun here up in the booth, and these guys are going to have a lot of fun ripping around the outside wall here. Like we said, we're going to be seeing 3 and 4 wide all night long, and it is going to be nothing but a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to take a look at the points. Maybe a little early to be doing that, but we do have the chase this year. This is the first year that we're running it. So the points are a little bit more of a talking point than usual. And I want to point out three drivers in particular: Tyler Landry, Tim Berry, and Jack Gino. Usually major contenders. Tim Berry, the defending champion. Tyler Landry won 4 times last year, including this very race last year. Jack Gino, the season 1 champion and two-time race winner last year. They are deep in the points. And do you think, I know it's only race 3 and there's still plenty of time for them to turn it around, but if they don't have a good run today, do you think it's time to push the panic button on any of those drivers?
I really don't think so. Like you said, we're only on race 4 of the season, so it's very, very early on. Too early to tell, but, again, Homestead is a little bit of a wild card track. It's not like Atlanta and Daytona, where, you can have a great run anywhere and pretty much you can have a great run and be caught up in a lot of accidents where it was kind of a roulette wheel, I should say, on those quasi super speedways. But if you don't have a good run today, you're starting to lean a little bit more towards that panic button. I think what these guys need, just a solid top 20 run, maybe even top 25 at the very worst. If you're beneath the top 25 or even outside of the top 30, that's probably where we're going to see them lean a lot more towards hitting that panic button. Of course, if you're caught up in something very early on and finish in the outside of the top 35, you're smashing that panic button like it is the easy Staples button. But overall, we still got a lot of season to go, but I think these guys, they just want to have a good run here tonight. It's still very early in the season. The slate is not as clean as it was all the way back in the start of the season, but there's still a lot of white space on it. I think just having a good run here tonight, setting your goals for mid-pack finish at the very worst, and just going from there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what those three drivers in particular do, especially considering those were three of the favorites, maybe the three favorites to win the title this year, and all of them are struggling. But you know who's not struggling? Holly Martin, I'm sorry, Lori Jackson. That's Holly Martin behind Lori Jackson in the car that Holly Martin drove last year. Um, Lori Jackson is starting on pole for the first time in a McPicky Motorsports car. She's also been off to a rough start, 28th in points, but this is a great opportunity for her to turn it around. Starting alongside her, Charlie McCarron, the only driver to run all 99 LSCI races and not come home with a checkered flag. Maybe 99 is the lucky number, and she'll finally take it home today. Row number 2 is Holly Martin in the number 27 car with a great starting spot for NH Motorsports. Both the NH cars are actually starting inside the top 8, so that's good news for them. Nathan Buchanan, one of our three Rookie of the Year contenders, or I'm sorry, 4 Rookie of the Year contenders in the field, starting in 4th here today. Then you got the 70 of Damon Kirby. Excellent qualifying run. Had a good run going at Rockingham, but did not quite finish off the run. Still finished 22nd, which was not too bad. And alongside him is the 29 car of JB Chanot in a car that is pretty well matching for this racetrack. Row number 4, JT Boyd, his one career win came at Oregon, which is a similar racetrack to this one. And the number 9 of Wesley Shelton. Great qualifying run for him as well. Definitely overachieving in that 9 car with that qualifying run. We'll see if he'll be able to keep it up there. And then there's your defending champion, Tim Berry, who's starting in row number 5 alongside the 8 of Darren Walker. Berry desperately needs a good run here. And your 2-time defending winner, Corbin Taps, looking to go 3 in a row, trying to mimic Tyler Reddick. And he's going to start from the 12th position alongside the 79 of Alnita Kim. The pole sitter from last week got her first top 10 of the season. Then it's the 3 of George Bryan alongside the 52 of Alan Marshall, who is in just his second LSCI Cup Series start. But he started the Amateur Series off hot with 2 straight runner-up finishes. And then it's Michael Harvin in the number 55 alongside the 41 of Karina Willis-Callaway. Ashley Blake in the number 36 with a different paint scheme on this one. A paint scheme that you're used to seeing on the 41, but the sponsor has switched teams now. Vinnie Scholes in the 62, also looking for her first career win alongside that 36 car. Then you got Kobe Hollenbeck in the 2, who's off to a great start in Martin Swain Race Team's first full-time season. His teammate for this race, Bart Seiler, did not make the race, though, and he was trying to make his debut, but it'll just be Hollenbeck out there, alongside the 18 of Zach Dearman, who's also top 5 in the standings. Another driver top 5 in the standings, it's Zach Dearman's teammate, the 19 of Jake Sidney, and the 40 of Adrian Wheeler. And you got the 3rd of the Hudson Motorsports cars, starting right with his teammates, the 81 of Jack Gino, and the 39 of Laken Herndon. Last year's race winner, the 66 of Tyler Landry, looking for a bounce-back race here today. Kate Summers, 2nd in the points. Outstanding run for Pacific Racing, but she's going to be starting in 26th here today. Then you've got the 98 of Kevin DuPont, champion from 2 seasons ago, still trying to get over that championship hangover as he has not won since. Then it's the 57 of Shauna Everett on the outside. Then you got the 45 of James Harvin alongside the 99 of Akia Tajima. The 92 driven by Lulu Connie. She got a top 10 last week. And the 58 of Joanna Clark alongside her. Then it's the 88 of Billy Smith and the 10 of Simon Lawrenson. And rounding out the field is the 24 of Cooper Spur and the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Your 3 D&Qs for this race were Riley Pearson in the 33. We already mentioned Bart Seiler in the 20. Tamron Bellinger in the 65, also D&Q'd. Well, it's going to be a 67-lap race here at Homestead. And like I said, we're expecting a 2-stopper. We could definitely get some yellows in this race, too, which could mess with the pit strategy. And again, we'll see how this plays out. Usually we have had 1 or 2 yellows for this in the past. Bit of a different racetrack, just slightly different from last year. But we'll see if that makes any difference on these drivers.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will fire their engines on the backstretch here at Homestead. Everybody's rolling off fine. And Trey, I know you're just now getting to know these drivers, but I gotta ask you, who do you think is gonna win the race here at Homestead?
I'm going with that 16 machine of Corbin Taps, starting on the inside of row 10 in that KFC Chevrolet. I'm thinking he's going to start the season off on a high note, 3 wins in a row to start 2026 there on the outside in that 16 machine.
He's starting on the outside of row 6 rather, in P12, but yeah, definitely a good starting spot here for the 16. He could definitely get the win, but it's his teammate, Laurie Jackson, who's going to lead them to the green alongside Charlie McCarron. We are racing here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Boogity boogity.
End of lap number 1. Holly Martin is going to lead the first lap, passing her old ride in the number 6 car. JB Chanot, Nathan Buchanan trying to get stuff working on the inside lane towards the front, and they are slipping and sliding all over this racetrack, and we've got several cars getting the wall on the outside of turn number 2. Getting into the wall has been a consistent running theme this season, and it looks like it might be a bit of an issue here, as Michael Harvin has lots of damage on the right side of his car, and he's going to drop back several positions.
Yeah, we talked about that during the pre-race show, as getting up into those marbles, even before the marbles have really even formed up here. But you're going to be on the outside of that 2 and 3 wide. We have one more car that slid up into the outside wall. You know, turn number 2, that's going to be a big trouble spot for a lot of these drivers that are trying to ride the Lightning on the outside of turns 3 and 4. But once they get into this groove here, like we got at the front end of the field, you know, everybody's trying to run their own lines. We got a lot more clean air up here, but you go back about the battle for about 10th or 15th, it is just all triple file. We got 4 wide for the corner. Here we go.
And
they made it
out of it. Ashley Blake, who was on the outside there, backed out, did not get into the wall, and she's very fortunate for that. But she is going to lose several positions on that outside lane. The 6 of the 77 go all the way up the racetrack, racing for position, as the pole sitter is dropping back outside the top 5. But Holly Martin is maintaining the lead so far, with Nathan Buchanan right behind, last year's Amateur Series champion. Then you got a couple of Columbia Motorsports cars, Alnita Kim and the 29 of JB Chanot. Kim looking for her first career win. The 29 of Chanot looking for her first win since Season 2 in the Lumen 500. So, you know, both of these drivers are going to want to get a win. But it is still Holly Martin out in front here on lap number 6. Adrian Wheeler has gained a lot of spots since the start. And Tyler Landry, who started all the way back to 25th, is already up into P7. As Michael Harvin is rejoining the track, he had to pit for that damage from hitting the wall on lap 2.
And that's going to be a little bit tricky for these guys to try to get around the lap down car. But like you were saying, Landry won the Homestead race here last season. He knows his way around this 1.5-mile intermediate, and he is already trying to move his way inside the top 10. He's already up to 7th, and he is looking like the fastest car on track. Nathan Buchanan wants the lead going down the back straightaway. He's another driver that knows his track like the back of his hand. One car into the outside wall in the back.
Karina Willis-Callaway. And off the pace is Charlie McCarron. Might have also gotten the wall, and she's already come in and out of the pits, so that first career win definitely isn't coming here today. But Alnita Kim down to the inside of Nathan Buchanan. The 2 rookie front runners are going to be side by side, and Kim is going to take the lead. Lots of action up front here to begin this race. Holly Martin is going to follow the fellow Toyota, and the Toyota struggled a lot last year, only won 3 of the 28 races. But the Toyotas have been off to a hot start here, even though they haven't won yet. There's consistently been 5 or 6 of them inside the top 10 in the first 2 races. And we've got 2 of them battling for the lead right now. Whoa, Landry slipped up in turn 1 right in front of Joanna Clark. He's going to slide up into the second lane. That was a hairy situation. That could have been an accident right there.
It definitely could have. Another car, I think that was the Waffle House machine, already pounded the outside wall again all the way in the back. Couldn't quite tell who it was. It was the outside car that's now going 3 wide. The 24 of Cooper Spur. He's pancaked the outside wall. We have a lot of cars on that outside lane that are hitting the wall off turn 2, and he might have to make an unscheduled pit stop as well. But now they're starting to get a little bit more racy at the front end of this field, and got a couple of lead changes already. You've got Kim out in the race lead, 3 wide back in there in that battle with the lap down car. That's the 55 right in the middle there, as Wheeler's going to be sent up the racetrack.
Yeah, that sent Wheeler wide. That's his teammate that just got into the way, so sure he's not going to be happy about that. 3 wide back here. Kevin DuPont, Darren Walker, and Jake Sidney battling for position. And where is... Oh, Boyd got into the wall a little bit. And where is Corbin Taps in all of this? He is all the way back in 20 seconds, so not the greatest of starts for the 16, who's still trying to go 3 in a row to start the year. There's still time to make up that gap. We're only on lap number 11. We still got 2 pit cycles to get through. Tyler Landry tried to cross over on Nathan Buchanan there. It didn't quite work. The 79 and 27, first and second. Joanna Clark with a great run in that Diamond Motorsports car. Getting up to P3, but she's got George Bryan all over her and now under her as he tries to pass for the 3rd position in the Coca-Cola racing machine.
Like you were talking about, these Toyotas have absolutely come to play. They are in 4 of the top 5 spots on the pylon. And these Yoders are absolutely rocking. And around here, they're trying to go for the podium. But here comes that Chevrolet, that 3 machine of George Bryan. Coca-Cola Chevy looking beautiful under the lights here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And he has been the fastest car on the track over the last couple of laps, and he's caught back up to these top 2 Toyotas. He nearly dumped a little bit of air. We might have 3 wide for the race lead, Brennan.
Holly Martin is being aggressive with the blocks on the 3 car, and now she's gotten her way underneath the 79. She slides up the track. Here comes Bryan. He found the lane on the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. Kim's going to back out. And it's side by side between the 3 and the 27 for the lead, and the 3 is going to slide up the track. We're seeing a lot of that now as the tires start to wear out, and there are 3 wide again for second. There's Bryan's teammate Nathan Buchanan trying to get back up into second, but not enough of a run down on the inside lane to get past the 27. But he might get past JB Chanel for 3rd as he's got Landry and Kim behind him. Simon Lawrenson has found his way in the top 10. This team is expected to struggle this year, but he got a top 10 at Atlanta, and it seems like he's got a knack for these mile and a halves in his rookie season, as he's also going to get past Chanel, who has been dumped to the outside and has dropped several spots.
Yeah, he's definitely making his way in the right direction, but the longer this run goes on, again, we're about 10 laps away from our opening set of pit stops, Brennan, and these guys have absolutely found grooves on the upper side of the track. You know, normally on the start, we saw that with Corbin Taps. He was not able to really get a good jump on the outside on that initial double file start, but now that these tires are worn in, these guys are going to move in up the racetrack trying to find as much grip, as any grip as they can with these Goodyear Eagles screaming out in pain right now. We're going to see a lot more 2 and 3 wide. We got 3 wide as a 66 all the way up the track. We nearly had 4 wide as a 19 of Sydney.
You're going to scrape the wall, and he's going to
riding the lightning a little bit.
Well. Yeah,
you rode the lightning a little too hard.
You do not want to be up in that 3rd lane. There is just no grip up there, and there is a damage on the side of that 66 car. He's almost being put 3 wide again by Shauna Everett and Zach Dearman. But that's bad news, because he's going to probably have to repair that. Oh, Simon Lawrenson's in a precarious situation as well. He does not want to do what the 66 just did, but he keeps it out of the wall. Still going to lose
just
some
giving
spots
the wall love tap.
Outside. Yeah,
give the wall a little bit of a love tap.
Not enough to really cause damage, but lots of 3 wide action here up at the front. Jake Sidney is slicing his way through the field in the Raising Cane's machine, and he has found his way all the way up into P6 after starting in the back. Lakin Herndon, where did he come from? He's all the way up to 3rd. I mean, I'm seeing drivers that I haven't seen all race just suddenly show up inside the top 10. It's been that kind of race here at Homestead. And Herndon has not won in a while, despite being one of the best drivers here in LSCI, but he's battling his teammate JB Chanot. Darren Walker making some big moves on the inside lane. But up in the front, the top 2 are loving what they're seeing in their mirror because they're not involved in it. George Bryan and Holly Martin still 1st and 2nd, setting themselves up well for this first pit cycle. It looks like Chanot will take over P3 with Jake Sidney sliding into P4, and Darren Walker trying to take 5th. Tyler Landry gets dive bombed by Shauna Everett. We've had several moments where I thought that they were going to crash, but so far we're clean and green through 20 laps.
You know, I'm going to regret saying this, Brendan, but on this version of Homestead, they make these aggressive moves, but they're normally able to really keep their wheels underneath of them. Now, the second I say that, we're probably going to get a big one off turn 2, but overall, these guys have been doing an incredible job at keeping their cars within the realms of what they've been able to do. We got 1 car way up the track, that pink machine. Chanot all the way up the racetrack on the outside of 3 wide, but these guys have been able to really control their automobiles, well, especially on these older tires. And she is all the way on the outside. She's going to drop back a lot in that 29 Toyota. Nearly, she's going to hit the wall a little bit there.
Tim Berry
smacked the wall.
Oh, that is not what he wants to see. The defending champion has been off to a horrible start. Akia Tajima in the 99 has gotten into the wall as well. Just lots of damage on the outside for these guys. And that is not an issue that we had last year, so this is definitely proving to be more of a problem this year, as hitting the wall seems to have been at Atlanta and at Rockingham. So, I mean, I don't know if it's something to do with the way these guys have set up the cars this year, but they're having some
Here
trouble
comes the
for sure.
39.
And here comes Lakin Herndon on lap 23. That's a bit early to be pitting. Is that scheduled? It looks like it is. So Lakin Herndon trying some strategy here, pitting at the end of lap 23. He was the only one to come in. We'll see if that works out for him. Shauna Everett has moved her way up to third just before the pit cycle. We'll see who comes in this time. It looks like possibly these two. No. But look at the lead that George Bryan has opened up.
I think that 57 car wanted to come down the pit lane as you got the 39 of Herndon. He's repairing a little bit of damage on that car, so that's going to drop him off. Look at this Hornet's nest up in here in this battle for the top 10 as everybody moving towards the front. They're just trying to file around that lap car of the 55, who was a little bit of a problem during this opening run. Now we got more cars coming. We got a big, oh boy.
They all get in safely. Oh, almost.
A little bit of contact.
A little bit.
Little love tap, I think.
There's a lot of drivers that have some right side damage, including Tim Berry. Oh, collision in the pit lane.
Oof.
Lulu Connie and Cooper Spur making contact. And that's not something you want. Corbin Taps has damage on the front end of his car.
Oh, he ran into somebody, Elliott Sadler style, and that is going to be a big setback for that KFC 16 car. Oh, Brian is out and away in the Coca-Cola 3 machine, but that is pit road. The entry is very late in the just past the apex of 3 and 4, and there's not a whole lot of time to get down the pit lane. They're probably going to have to remove the hood. No, the 16 machine, Berry. A relatively decent pit stop.
It continues for Tim Berry. That championship hangover has been hitting him aggressively. He's 38th in points in a series where we only have 36 cars in a field, and it's looking like it's not going to get any better for Berry. I don't know, Trey. I think that panic button's looking pretty nice for that one car right now, as he is probably going to go a lap down. And he was so solid and consistent last year that it's almost unthinkable for him to have had a stretch of races like this, but it's just been one thing after another for Berry, as he is going to get lapped. And it looks like Brian is going to stay in the lead once this all cycles out, but we've still got a few more. Actually, I think everyone has now come. Oh, that was close there.
Oh,
James
Lord.
Harvin splitting the middle in the 45.
Oh, watch that A car. He nearly money blocked down into the 50.
Yeah, it's going to work out for the 45. He's going to get a lot of spots out of that. But yes, George Bryan has the lead by 2 seconds over the 39 of Lakin Herndon. That one car is now 35th, 1 lap down. It just continues to get worse for Tim Berry. Joanna Clark is in 3rd. The 19 of Jake Sidney is 4th, and Shauna Everett is in 5th, rounding out the top 5. Holly Martin dropped all the way back to P7, trying to hold it off from Nathan Buchanan.
He got tight going in through 1.
Yeah, not a good pit stop for the 27 as she falls back. But George Bryan has the lead of the race, but Herndon is coming. He's gotten past the 1 car. Gained a couple tenths that last time by. We'll see if he can close in on that 3 car. Once the 3 got out front, he has not been passed once he got a sniff of that clean air. So it is going to be quite the task to run him down. We'll see if Herndon and Clark are up for the challenge.
Well, Herndon has 1 lap older tires than that 3 car, so he's got a little bit warmer tires, but once Brian is able to work in that rubber, he's going to be just a smidge faster than that 39 car, but I'm liking that strategy that Herndon was on. He climbed his way up through the grid, and he pit from the 4th position a little bit, a little bit earlier on than everybody else, as we had 1 more car coming down. I think that was the
Michael
55
Harvin.
that, and it is Harvin, who was, remember, he's off cycle from pretty much everybody, so that's going to put him an additional lap down in the double nickel machine. But I'm really liking this strategy for Herndon. he's able to get a little bit faster of a pit stop. Remember, he did have to repair a little bit of damage on that 39 Toyota. He just keeps the car clean. I'm really liking this strategy out of Herndon, but
And
that
he's closing in.
three Chevrolet is gone.
He's closing
No,
in, though.
he is
hold
closing
on a
in.
second. Here comes the 58 trying to take second. Joanna Clark won 2 races in what was basically supposed to be a tank year for Diamond Motorsports last year, but she ran the heck out of that car. Again, got 2 wins, her first 2 career wins. And so far, she has had a solid start to the season this year as well. Tim Berry wants his lap back. He does not want to be trapped a lap down here as he tries to get past the 39 and 58. He's in desperation mode. But if he gets a caution, that would be great news for him because he would be getting his lap back. But of course, he could just go out and do it the old-fashioned way. But definitely causing some issues for the second and third place cars, and that's allowing Jake Sidney to close in on them. That lead was 2 seconds after the pit cycle, and it was down to under a second and a half. Now it's back down to under a second and a half again. So these cars are definitely closing in on Brian. I think within the next 10 or so laps, they might have a shot at him if they can put together some good lap times.
Then again, within the next 10 or so laps, we're going to go right back down into the pit area. They're just under 1.5 seconds that last time by when they were battling with Barry. As Barry, he's just going to try to get to the inside of that 58 Honda. We'll see what the gap this time around will be, and it's back to just over 1.5 seconds. So that rubber's starting to build in a little bit there for Brian, especially with Barry just trying to get around these guys. You know, I think just the one car is just a smidge faster than everybody else, and Brian running up into a little bit of lap traffic right on the horizon. You got that DHL machine out in front of him,
Charlie
that 85
McCarran.
car. McCarran just a little bit out in front.
Yeah, she was the second place starter, but she got into the wall, and then we got this group of 3 that's ahead of them, all cars that have gotten into the wall. Karina Willis-Callaway, Cooper Spur, and Akia Tajima. And Corbin Taps with that front end damage back in 29th. Tyler Landry's back in 27th. Something is going wrong in the pit cycles with the 66 car because the same thing happened at Rockingham. He started in the mid-20s, got his way into the top 10, and then after the pit cycle, he was nowhere to be found. So clearly there needs to be some sort of... I know he had some right side damage as well, but there has to be some sort of changes made to the pit crew, that 66 car, because they just continue to cost him spots. But we've got a battle for second here. Jake Sidney has run up on the 58 and the 39. He's going to try and get past the 39 for P3, as Barry has gotten past this group for the moment. But he's still got quite a ways to run down George Bryan and unlap himself. So I think in his situation, he just has to make sure that he is the leading car that is 1 lap down to get that lucky dog. Herndon way up the racetrack.
Yeah, that rubber is starting to go away from that 39 Toyota. He is just trying to find any grip he can. Remember, he came down a lap 23, so he's probably going to be coming down in the next 10 laps or so. Here comes the 19, that Raising Cane's car going down to the bottom of that 58, but they are losing time. They gained a 1/10 of a second on the 3 that last time by, but once Barry got past these guys, they were losing a 1/10 of a second a lap when they were battling amongst themselves. Brian, he's definitely found that 5th gear in the car, and while the gap has maintained a little bit of stagnation between him and the second-place drivers, he is catching up to the back end of McCarran, but that 19 car, Jake Sidney, he has found something good on that Raising Cane's machine other than Texas Toast. Still within 1.6 seconds back, but once we get into this next pit cycle in the next 10 laps or so, Brennan, we're going to have to watch out to see when these guys come down, and if they come down at the same time, all bets are off, and the race is going to come down to their pit crews probably.
And with Corbin Taps struggling in this race with damage, this is a great opportunity for Jake Sidney to gain on him in the points. And the same goes for Kate Summers, who has somehow found her way up into the top 10 again. I don't know how she keeps doing it. She was the dominant car. Whoa, that was a close moment right there. She was the dominant car at Rockingham, led 3/4 of the race, but lost it on a late restart. But here she's been hanging out in the back for most of the race and is just now trying to gain some spots, but she's going to lose a couple to the 27 and the 15. Buchanan is going to drive by both of them. But George Bryan driving for Patriot Racing Incorporated. Last year, that team went winless, but they finished second 7 times that season. I believe Bryan himself finished second 3 times. Definitely trying to end that winless drought for that race team after they continued to get so close to victory, including one race where they lost by 8/1000ths of a second at Talladega. But Bryan has been the class of the field here tonight, trying to hang on for about 25 more laps in that number 3 car. Jake Sidney is trying to close in, but he is having some trouble getting past that one of Tim Berry. And the 58 and the 39 look to continue their duel for third. Kevin DuPont, Shauna Everett, not too far behind them in the 5th and 6th positions.
Yeah, everybody's just trying to set themselves up here for this money stop coming within the next 5 laps or so. As you got Bryan, he's just trying to get out of Dodge a little bit. He gained 0.2 of a second. He's within slipstream of the 85 of McCarran, and Berry is really holding up this 19 of Sydney. So you got the 3 pulling out a little bit here, and if you're Bryan, like you said, they had 8 second-place finishes last year. Lost that heartbreaker at Talladega with the 8/1000ths of a second deficit. They're looking to be in pretty good shape here today, but we're closing in on 20 laps to go, and that second pit cycle just right around the corner for these guys. That's just going to make things very interesting, but everything still up in the air. There's still a lot of murkiness on who's going to end up getting the job done here, but picture is becoming clear that George Bryan, one way or another, is going to be in the running here at the end. This money stop coming up here within the next 4 laps or so, Brennan. That's where we're going to start to see things become a lot clearer.
Whoa, we got a couple of Hondas up in front of him that are definitely going to slow him down a little bit, especially this 24 Cooper Spur, who has even more damage on the right side. He has really been struggling to not get into the wall here. They're going to go side by side in front of him. That is not what he wants to see. But Lakin Herndon's just gone past the 58 and 19 again on the older tires. And I guess this late in the run, the tires have evened out a little bit as Herndon reclaims the second position. And he himself is looking to end a winless drought. I mean, the top 2 went winless last year as the 3 of Bryan now gets past Cooper Spur in the 24. That's bad news for the 1 car of Tim Berry, as he is no longer the leading lap down car. So he has to catch that 24 before caution comes out if he wants a chance. And also this 85 of McCarran could be an issue as well. But it's possible that we don't get a caution in this race. 48 laps in.
I was just going to say.
And they've gone clean and green. So, well, I don't want to say clean. We've got a lot of damaged cars, but definitely gone green. So we might not get that
caution-free, but not incident-free.
Yeah, we might not get that yellow. Berry might not get that break there, as he is 34th. And now Bryan is trying to get past the 85 of Charlie McCarran. But McCarran's going to be a little harder to pass than that 24 was, as she doesn't have as much damage on that race car.
Herndon came down the pit lane to make his final stop.
Herndon did come in, and he was the first to pit last time, lap number 49. And there he is, trying the extreme undercut strategy here for that track position. And we'll see if it works out for him. And the 24 is coming in here. He is a lap down, probably going to fix that damage on the side. But we're keeping an eye on the 19, the 58, and the 3 to see when they come in. 18 laps to go here at Homestead, and the final cycle has begun. Going to be very important to watch for who comes in next. Herndon is now leaving the pit lane.
I'm thinking just stay out as long as you can. You got Buchanan, the 77, a Boyd, and a couple other drivers down. If I'm Bryan, I'm probably maybe running 1 more lap here.
I think he came in this lap. Yes, he did. Joanna Clark will follow him into the pits. Jake Sidney's going to try and overcut.
Really liking the overcut strategy for a lot of these guys.
And a lot of the back half of the top 10 also came in this lap. Holly Martin, Adrian Wheeler, Jack Gino, Ashley Blake, Kate Summers, and more. Buchanan is out of the pits. Boyd is out of the pits. Marshall and a few others. Gotta watch that 3 car of George Bryan. He is leaving his pit stop right now. Holly Martin also coming in and pitting. There's Clark in the 58. Will come out second of this group. And we'll have to see where Herndon cycles out relative to George Bryan. There he is on the track right now.
I think Brian might have him beat.
Brian down the back straightaway, ahead of Lakin Herndon, but Herndon has a full head of steam coming out of the corner. It's going to be real close. Herndon is going to gain quite a bit on him, but it looks like Brian will keep the lead, but Herndon still has that momentum coming out of turn number 4. Brian has not warmed up those tires yet, and here comes Lakin Herndon. He's got a heck of a run on the 3 car, and it looks like we're going to have a duel for this win between the 3 and the 39.
Yeah, Herndon right on the back end of that 3 machine, and here he goes.
Comes.
He's got to run down to the low side. But again, we're closing in.
Oh, they made contact. They almost took each other out. And Lakin Herndon is going to take the lead.
That was incredible. You want to talk about a slide job? How about a banging door job as Herndon utilizing the tires, and caution flag is out.
Oh, the yellow is out, yes. And did they get all the way cycled out? Jake Sidney still hadn't pitted yet.
Oh, we had a big mess.
Oh, it's a big one. Oh, and Sidney piles in. Lots of cars littered. Holly Martin, I saw Kobe Hollenbeck parked as well. And Jake Sidney, who was in the top 5, ran into it. That was a big crash in turn number 3. JB Chanot, Alan Marshall, Darren Walker, Holly Martin, or Lori Jackson rather, and more. Oh,
and
my
that
goodness.
that was that concern we were talking about during the opening set of pit stops, is that these cars tend to come down the pit lane very late, and sometimes you'll get somebody pulling a Quinn Houff coming down from the 3rd lane, and I think that's ultimately what happened there. We had a big stack up, and I cannot believe that the 3 and the 39 didn't. They went through their Cold Trickle style, Days of Thunder style, and I thought that they were going to get caught up just the same as the 19, but doors closed a little bit too early there for Jake Sidney, and he is going to go to the garage area, and this is going to really shake things up with less than 10 laps to go.
Oh, Kate Summers was in it, 2nd in points. Lots of cars involved, at least 10 cars, probably more. Good news for Tim Berry. He's going to get the wave around, and that's the break that he needed. But oh my goodness, we have a lot to unpack, as it looks like Lakin Herndon will be picked up as the leader. We got a few cars that we have to wave around on the tail end of the lead lap, but that was a massive accident in turn 3 that we just saw the end of, taking out several cars. Jake Sidney, JB Chanot, Holly Martin, Hollenbeck, Marshall, Walker, Jackson, Lopez, Connie, all out of the race. We're going to show you a replay of what happened, and then we'll get back to the restart here at Homestead. Things are going to get crazy here at the end. Well, this wreck starts coming out of the pits, and this is a bizarre accident. Darren Walker just not watching where he's going, cuts across the nose of Jacob Lopez, and then Lopez gets tipped over by the 27 of Holly Martin, and he goes flipping into turn number 3. Several cars try to take evasive maneuver. Some of them get through, some of them do not, and this wreck just keeps going on. JB Chanot and Lori Jackson pile in. Alan Marshall piles in the 52. And you would think that that would be the end of it, but they just continue to pile in as more cars come in here. Marshall tries to get away from the accident. Kobe Hollenbeck is going to get on the brakes, but Marshall is there in the racing line. Lulu Connie will pile in as well. And again, you'd think that would be the end of it, as Kobe Hollenbeck sitting on the racetrack. And here come your race leaders, Lakin Herndon and George Bryan, and they're going to get through just barely, splitting through the middle. Unfortunately, Jake Sidney, as you saw there for a moment, piled into the accident and took himself out. That was just an ARCA brake accident if I've ever seen it, and really kind of embarrassing for the skill level of the drivers here, as that one shouldn't have involved more than like 4 cars, but cars just kept piling into the accident, and yeah, that's that one took out a lot of them, but that's going to set up a late race restart, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
So trouble coming off. It's for a lot of these guys, and That is just a hard shot. Driver's side there for the 50 car. He goes for a tumble. And Brendan, like you and I were talking about, this was the long one. It just didn't stop. As you're talking about ARCA brakes for a lot of these drivers, and that's really just the name of the game for a lot of these crashes here in NR2003, where drivers, they're just trying to race back, and when the track is blocked, unfortunately, they're just going to run into everybody. You're going to watch this 39 and 3 car zoom through here. They're able to go through the fire and the flames. The 19 of Jake Sidney, who was in the pit lane. He was coming out of the pit lane when the initial caution came out, and he ends up being junked right at the tail end of this crash. That's how long this wreck transpired, and it's probably going to take out at least 10 or maybe even 15 cars out of this race. Goodness gracious, and well, like you said, a little bit of an embarrassment, but you can probably factor in there was probably a lot of oil on the track, and of course everybody was trying to race around, but tough scenes here, which were kind of breaking the flow of what was a really, really fun race so far to watch green flag-wise, but that's going to change things a lot here.
Welcome back here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, wrapping up our first caution of the day, and it was a big one. As you saw, took out several drivers, including Jake Sidney, who was running up towards the front. There you see the entire list of them up on the graphic right there. Lakin Herndon is your race leader. George Bryan is in second. Joanna Clark, Alnita Kim, Kevin DuPont round out the top 5, and we got several drivers that are outside the top 5 that are now going to have a chance at this. Pace car is going to pull in. We're going to have 9 laps to go here on the restart. It's going to be a sprint to the finish here at Miami. And Lakin Herndon, George Bryan, both went winless last year, looking to end that winless drought now. We are green flag racing here at Miami. And already Alnita Kim is trying to look for her first career win. She gets underneath Joanna Clark. She's going to try and get underneath the 3 of Bryan as well. This 79 car had a great restart.
Yeah, we saw in the early runs just how much of a short run car that 79 is, and she's going to blow past everybody on the inside. She might go for the race lead here.
Side by side, Alnita Kim, just her 4th LSCI start. She's going to try and get the lead from her teammate, Lakin Herndon. Side by side between the two. 3 wide further back, Joanna Clark on the outside. Just going to tap the wall, but not going to do much damage unless lost positions counts there. But Alnita Kim has taken the race lead in the 79, trying to win as a rookie here at Homestead. Adrian Wheeler and James Harvin, the Motor Racing Ventures teammates, have found themselves inside the top 5. James Harvin has never won before. He's looking for his first career win. Adrian Wheeler's looking for his 3rd. He's going to move up to 2nd as Bryan and Herndon lose spots on the restart. Jack Gino, Shauna Everett also making their way on the inside lane, but they got a ways to go before they can get up to Alnita Kim, who's going to come to 6 laps to go with the race lead. Adrian Wheeler and James Harvin giving chase, and here they come.
Those guys trying to chase that automobile down. They got a pretty good run on the back end of that 97.
Jack Gino.
79, excuse me.
They're working together, the Fords, and now Everett looks underneath the 81 as the 81 checked up in the corner. Kevin DuPont in the 98 down to the inside. He's going to try and make it 3 wide for 2nd, and Alnita Kim is loving this battling behind her because they're not catching her.
They are not. They're a quarter of a second back behind that 79 car. You got this 57 machine trying to claw in Shauna Everett.
Trying to get
Haven't really said her name at all.
Trying to get the first win for Blake Everett Motorsports in a points race, but she's going to go up the racetrack. And Kevin DuPont's going to go up the racetrack. Here comes the Patriot Racing Inc. teammates. Billy Smith and Nathan Buchanan down to the inside. George Bryan has faded by this point, but this team still has a shot at victory. But I don't know, none of them are particularly close to catching Alnita Kim as they keep cycling between each other. Buchanan's going to move into 2nd. And it's 2 rookies leading the field, and if Buchanan can catch up to the 79, this is going to be a battle for the ages, but the 88 is trying to get to 2nd himself. 3 laps to go. Alnita Kim is out on a Sunday drive right now as they battle 3 wide behind her. Ashley Blake in the 36 out of nowhere is trying to get herself onto the podium.
Yeah, if they would just go single file, they'd be able to catch that 79 car, and they're closing in a tenth of a second every lap or so, but they're still going 2 and 3 wide. It would be much faster if they were nose to nose. That's exactly what Alnita Kim wants to see out of her rear view coming around to 2 to go. Now they're still battling for second back through here. It's everybody just trying to scrap for that penultimate position. That 79, that rookie is absolutely flying here, and she is gone with a lap and a half to go.
They almost crashed. Ashley Blake and James Harvin made contact, but no incident off of turn 2. Jack Gino's going to try and take advantage to move into third, but here they come. 1 lap to go here for Alnita Kim. Adrian Wheeler's got a lot of ground to make up to try and make a last lap pass. 0.6 of a second. I don't know if he's going to do it. Alnita Kim's looking very good coming off of turn 2.
I don't think so. I think with a half a lap to go, I think that 79 car's got it in the bag. The only question that we've got is paper or plastic. And she's rocketing around turns 3 and 4 for home.
Here she comes off of turn number 4. In her 4th career race, Alnita Kim gets her first career win for Columbia Motorsports. What a win it is for Alnita Kim, and this driver just continues to impress. She was amazing in amateurs, and now she's got a Cup Series win to boot.
What a drive, and like you said, the amateurs veteran getting her first career win at a wild race here tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. There's a reason that the NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR put their finale back here in South Beach, Miami. So this is one darn good track, and it put on one heck of a performance here tonight. Now, Alnita Kim is the one to tangle with the neon blue and pink, and she gets the job done here.
Yeah, that was an excellent end of the race for sure. Lots of action from start to finish. Take a look at your race standings here. Alnita Kim with the win. Adrian Wheeler with a very impressive second. Jack Gino, we pointed him out as one of the contenders that were way down in the standings. He gets a 3rd place here. That is exactly what he needed. Nathan
Look at
Buchanan,
Tim Berry,
Lincoln
dude.
Herndon. Round out the top 5. Tim Berry, he got his lap back. He managed to get a top 10 out of it. So you know what? It didn't turn out too bad for the driver of the one car. So he managed to recover from that. That's the kind of stuff that he was doing last year to win the championship. That is desperately needed from him. Damon Kirby driving for the single car Streamline Racing underfunded team. He started in the top 10. He finishes in the top 10. We didn't say his name much, but he had a great run in that car for sure. Billy Smith gets the 6th place. That's his 2nd top 10 in a row. Shauna Everett also gets a top 10, and James Harvin rounds out the top 10. How about Akiya Tajima? He was well off the pace after getting into the wall, manages to recover for an 11th place finish. Same with Vinny Scholes in the 62 car. Massive props to those drivers. And George Bryan, after looking like he had that race won for a while, ends up with a 15th place finish, and that's just how it goes sometimes. Joanna Clark also was up at the front, up in the top 3, ended up finishing 18th. But what a wild one here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, as you can see from all of the retirements from this, but that was all from one accident. So it was one particularly big crash that took out several of the contenders like Jake Sidney, Holly Martin, JB Chanot, and others. But 25 cars finishing on the lead lap, 27 finished the race. But, well, Trey, that was a wild one for sure. What a race to have your first one in the booth. What did you think about it?
Well, in terms of calling the race for the first time, that's truly just baptism by fire. Calling a race like that for the opening time. And first and foremost, I want to thank you once again for having me. But this was certainly a race of all time. And those late race restarts with 10 laps to go, we were talking about, the 39 and the 3, they were starting at the front of the field. And these restarts here at Homestead are always so insane, especially when, right after the whole pit cycle had figured out, everybody was on a different strategy. And overall, Alnita Kim was able to take that 79 machine, drive it through the chaos, and was driving away into the sunset, into the west for her first win tonight. A great race. It's a shame it couldn't have gone caution-free, because that would have been a great battle between the 3 of Bryan and the 39 of Herndon right down to the wire, but I think Alnita Kim will definitely take a little bit of chaos as a side. She is a winner here in the Lumen Stock Car Invitational Cup Series.
Yeah, Alnita Kim has thrived in chaos, especially in the amateur series. She won her first race. Uh, I believe, if I remember correctly, she got her first win at the Nashville Super Speedway on a last lap pass, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, at the Nashville Super Speedway on a last lap pass, and then she also got her second win at Oregon on a last lap pass. So this is a driver that thrives in chaos. Clutch at the end of the race, and there you see it coming through once again here in the Cup Series. Again, just her fourth career start, and she's already found her way to victory lane. Very, very impressive stuff from Alnita Kim, and I'm excited for what she has in store for the rest of the season. That's definitely going to help her in the chase standings, getting that win. If she starts to struggle down the stretch, she can fall back on a wild card potentially. She was eighth in points entering this race, so she was already off to a pretty good start. And this win is just going to put an exclamation point onto that. And a lot of drivers that needed a good run had one. But yeah, that's going to be a huge win for Alnita Kim and Columbia Motorsports. Toyota gets a win. That's great for them. I pointed out how they struggled last season, only winning 3 races the entire year, and now they got one in race number 3. So again, that's great news to see. And there's a Toyota finishing in 5th as well. So yeah, that's great to see improvement from them, especially with the rookie driver as well. And again, Nathan Buchanan did good too as a rookie. He finishes in 4th, so it's going to be a very entertaining Rookie of the Year battle between these two for sure. Well, next week we're going to be headed to Auto Club Speedway for the 100th LSCI race. That is going to be a absolute festivity for sure. That's going to be a great race. I'm excited for that one. I've been looking forward to that one. I've had it marked on my calendar for a while. Going to be under the lights on Saturday night. First weekend racing quite a bit for LSCI. Of course, it doesn't matter to the YouTube watchers, but even still, that's going to be an entertaining one for sure. Thank you so much to Trey Wright for joining me in the booth, and one last congratulations to Columbia Motorsports and Alnita Kim on the win. This has been Brennan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network signing out. Here are your point standings after 3 races this season, which will be on your screen right now.